This video is sponsored by Rockland Flooring. Visit our website for more information.
If you've been on the internet in the past year, and I'm going to go ahead and assume you have, you've probably heard entirely too much about AI. Artificial intelligence has been a concept in computing for decades and decades, but use of the term really multiplied with the release of generative AI programs like Chat GPT. It's got everybody talking about AI and everybody wanting to release products that heavily feature AI. As with any technology craze, it's worth taking a step back and taking a pragmatic look at the technology. After all, any hot technology could become something we use every day, or something we look back on years from now as a weird fad, a relic of its time. We've seen promises of generative AI technology that could be genuinely useful and transformative. But we've also seen some that are just baffling. Why exactly would anyone want to listen to a podcast that's just two AIs talking to each other? It's a real thing, by the way, I didn't make that up. Anyway, let's take a look at this from a trucking industry perspective. How much of the AI craze will result in real help for fleets? One recent piece of news provides an early example of where things are headed. Geotab just announced Geotab Ace, an AI co-pilot for fleets. The company says it enhances user experience by offering tailored insights through intuitive dialogue. Geotab says the direct integration enables fleets to significantly reduce the time taken to gain insights and access customized data that are tailored to their specific needs. Data that Geotab Ace will have access to includes predictive safety analytics, predictive maintenance, trip data, zone activity, electric vehicle statistics, exception events, GPS tracking, and more. Geotab says it can remember past interactions to improve future responses and can provide personalized answers tailored to your business in the context of how your fleet has been configured in My Geotab. I recently had a chance to talk to Mike Branch, Vice President of Data and Analytics at Geotab, about this new technology. Here's what he had to say.
So for me, it's a tool to kind of reduce time to insight for our fleet customers. So oftentimes fleet customers are leveraging a lot of dashboards right now, which is great, it gives you a lot of insight, but oftentimes there's many questions that are a little bit more difficult to glean the answer from these dashboards. And oftentimes they'll have to, specifically for mid-size and larger fleets, they might get a data analyst to give them a hand with something. It really now puts, with the AI that we've developed, puts the power in the hands of the fleet manager to be able to ask a simple question and it returns the insight for them, right? So it really looks into their data across their entire fleet, could be a fleet of one or a fleet of over 100,000, and pull out this insight. And so one of the things that we did with ACE is we made it understand more data assets. So our Project G, which we launched last year, we only understood like a microcosm of what the fleet was interested in. Now all of a sudden ACE understands our group structure, rules, zones, engine status data, the exceptions, like it understands virtually the entire My Geotab experience. So whereas we would have questions sometimes posed before that the AI wouldn't know how to answer because they didn't have access to the data, now all of a sudden that becomes more readily available. And the thing that I think excites me the most from what we're seeing now is the fact that the AI no longer just understands telematics data, it can start to understand the business data. And by that, I mean, our customers have set up our My Geotab ecosystem in such a way where if you're creating a series of zones, maybe you're in a construction company and you have a zone type that is construction site, all right? So you set it up the way that you want to run your business. And with the right prompt strategy, all of a sudden now ACE as an AI is not just telling you insights about zones, it's telling you insights about construction sites, right? So, and this is kind of step one, but we're really excited about some of the power that it will give people to reduce that time to insight, as opposed to waiting days or weeks for analysis to come through. It can help them make decisions faster.
So I wonder, what would you say to a fleet manager or a customer who's maybe a bit skeptical? They're thinking, how do I know this can really work for me? How do I know it works?
Yeah, I mean, give it a try. So we have it'll be launched in Q2 in early access. The one thing that we do try to do, and we have set the stage from the get-go, AI will get things wrong. I'm not making it. We've seen with Chat GPT, there are hallucinations that happen. It may get things right many times, it may not sometimes. But what we have expressly done is made sure that the explainability is there. That's one of the things we took a lot of effort to do this time around. So instead of just giving you an answer, it tells you how it reasoned through that answer, right? Because how it computes an average might be different than the way that you thought it should, right? And then if you're technical, we even have a little bit of code snippet, right? So you can look at the actual code behind the scenes and see if you think it was doing the right thing. We're also coming out with, in the next few weeks, a whole document on responsible AI and how we're doing that within the ecosystem. I think some of concerns with this new technology sometimes come to play. Well, how's my data being used as a fleet too? So one of the things is we've expressly kept everything within the GeoTab environment. So if you bought my GeoTab, you know that your data stays safe within the GeoTab environment. The same holds true with this AI. The only thing that goes out to those large language models is the question, right? So your question will go out, but all your data stays safe and secure within the environment. So I think these are important things in building the trust. And like I said in the keynote, for me, this is the year of building trust, right? I don't expect widespread adoption right off the bat, but what I do expect is just to continue to build trust throughout the course of the year, because I think it's only when you build trust will people continue to use AI.
Mm-hmm. And I assume too, the first year, part of the plan presumably is to use that time, working with customers and having them use it to make the system better.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're consistently getting feedback from customers. We have the typical kind of thumbs up, thumbs down approach to see if we're getting things right. And we've, from what we're doing, we understand what a lot of our we have the top 200 questions that people would ask, right? So we kind of know some of the common questions that are being asked. And we try to bias the system towards answering those really, really, really well. Things that fall outside of that, we'll get these outliers, and then we'll see how it's answered those questions. But at least for the most frequently asked questions by fleets, let's make sure that we do a really good job of getting those right.
For even more trucking and equipment content, head over to the Fleet Equipment site at fleetequipmentmag.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.